She is more than a celebrity, more than a brand, more than a name whispered in the corridors of fashion, entertainment, and social media. Kim Kardashian is a phenomenon, a living, breathing example of how identity, perception, and psychology intertwine to craft influence. To study her mind is not merely to analyze fame. It is to dissect the architecture of attention, self-presentation, resilience, and adaptation in a world designed to consume and discard. Her psychology is a masterclass in perception management, emotional navigation, strategic self-expression, and cognitive flexibility. At first glance, Kim's world may seem superficial, glitz, glamour, and spectacle. Yet beneath the layers of curated image lies a mind intensely aware of human behavior, social dynamics, and the mechanics of influence. She understands what people notice, what they desire, what they envy, and what they emulate. Her psychology thrives in the intersection between self-perception and public perception, between identity formation and performance. In every photo, post, or product launch, she is both participant and observer, both subject and strategist. One of the first pillars of her psychology is an acute understanding of social cognition. She perceives the world through the lens of how others perceive it. This ability is not vanity. It is an evolved skill in navigating complex social landscapes. By constantly observing reactions, trends, and cultural shifts, she learns what captures attention and resonates emotionally. Her every action is informed by feedback loops, likes, comments, mentions, media coverage, and she adapts with remarkable speed. Psychologically, this is an advanced form of social intelligence, the ability to read and influence the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of others. Closely connected to this is her mastery of self-presentation. Kim has constructed a persona that is meticulously curated yet feels organic. She understands the power of narrative in identity creation. Each public appearance, each post, each endorsement is part of a larger story she tells about herself. One that blends aspirational luxury, relatability, vulnerability, and empowerment. This psychological skill goes beyond surface image. It reflects strategic identity management, an ability to harmonize authenticity and performance, and to craft a version of herself that can adapt to changing cultural tides. Her resilience is another defining psychological trait. Growing up in the glare of fame, navigating family drama, public scrutiny, and the pressures of a hypervisible life, she has developed an extraordinary capacity to endure criticism and maintain focus. Resilience here is not just resistance to stress. It is an active cognitive strategy of prioritization, emotional regulation, and selective attention. Kim knows that not all criticism is valid, that not all opinion deserves energy, and that strategic inaction is sometimes more powerful than immediate reaction. She has cultivated a mental framework that filters distraction, amplifies focus, and preserves long-term objectives over short-term emotional impulses. Perhaps most fascinating is her entrepreneurial cognition. Kim's ventures, from KKW Beauty to Skims, are more than business endeavors. They are extensions of her psychological insight into human behavior. She understands desire, scarcity, social proof, and cultural trends at a level that allows her to anticipate demand before it manifests. She leverages personal influence not just to market products, but to construct entire experiences and lifestyles that people aspire to inhabit. Psychologically, this is the synthesis of market intuition, strategic foresight, and social influence, a rare combination that transforms visibility into sustained authority and economic power. Integral to her success is a profound understanding of attention economics. In a media environment saturated with noise, Kim knows how to capture, retain, and redirect attention. Her psychology is structured around what cognitive scientists call attentional control, the ability to focus on stimuli that serve goals, manipulate perception to maintain engagement, and predict patterns of collective focus. Every post, collaboration, and public appearance is designed to maximize both visibility and engagement, creating a continuous feedback loop that strengthens brand equity and personal influence. Her psychology also demonstrates advanced risk calculation. Being constantly in the public eye invites vulnerability, misinterpretation, and potential backlash. Yet Kim engages boldly with this risk, navigating controversy, media scrutiny, and personal exposure with strategic poise. Her decisions are rarely impulsive. They are informed by probability assessment, reputational calculus, and audience prediction. She understands that impact often requires risk, that visibility is amplified by controversy, and that long-term strategic positioning can absorb short-term turbulence. Psychologically, this reflects a balance of daring and caution, an emotional intelligence calibrated to maximize opportunity while managing threat. Central to her identity is adaptive self-concept. Kim is remarkably flexible in reconciling personal identity with public identity. She can simultaneously embody mother, entrepreneur, celebrity, influencer, and cultural icon without fragmentation. This requires cognitive integration, the ability to harmonize multiple self-schemas, maintain coherence under scrutiny, and navigate competing social roles. Psychologists call this self-complexity. And high self-complexity protects against stress by distributing identity-related threats across multiple domains, preventing collapse when one domain is challenged. Empathy, too, plays a critical role. Kim's psychology is not merely self-focused. She demonstrates a nuanced understanding of audience emotion, desire, and aspiration. She anticipates reactions, curates experiences, and constructs narratives that resonate emotionally. Empathy is both moral compass and strategic instrument, guiding philanthropic acts, influencing content tone, and shaping brand messaging. Her engagement is calculated yet emotionally authentic, reflecting a rare integration of cognitive empathy and affective intuition. A key component of her psychology is strategic visibility management. She understands the life cycle of attention, how to amplify it, sustain it, and redirect it. Her public persona is layered, curated glimpses of personal life, strategic vulnerability, aspirational imagery, and cultural relevance, all interwoven to maintain interest and engagement. She manages narrative arcs with precision, releasing information in increments that maximize intrigue, speculation, and media amplification. Psychologically, this demonstrates mastery of timing, narrative pacing, and audience manipulation, the mechanics of influence deployed with subtlety and sophistication. Her decision-making reflects a dual-process cognitive style, fast intuitive judgment paired with deliberate analytical reasoning. She can act rapidly in dynamic social contexts, guided by instinct honed through experience, yet every instinct is informed by data, precedent, and pattern recognition. This combination allows her to navigate uncertainty with agility, balancing creativity with strategic control, emotional resonance with market calculus. Another defining element is her perfectionism and attention to detail. Every aspect of her personal brand, from aesthetic presentation to product design, reflects meticulous planning and execution. This is not vanity. It is a psychological commitment to standards, a cognitive pattern that prioritizes precision, consistency, and quality. Attention to detail functions both as an internal stabilizer and an external signal of competence, reliability, and authority. Her motivation is complex, blending intrinsic and extrinsic elements. Externally, recognition, influence, and wealth provide reinforcement. Internally, achievement, creative expression, and legacy drive action. Intrinsic motivation fuels resilience and sustained effort. Extrinsic rewards amplify engagement and visibility. This duality allows her to pursue ambitious goals, even in the face of criticism, fatigue, or public scrutiny. Cognitive flexibility is another psychological hallmark. Kim can pivot, adapt, and innovate, reshaping her image, business strategies, and social presence in response to evolving cultural contexts. This mental agility reflects metacognition, awareness of her own thought processes, recognition of shifting dynamics, and strategic adaptation. It is this flexibility that allows her to remain relevant across decades in an industry notorious for obsolescence. Her psychology also reflects a sophisticated understanding of social identity and collective influence. She navigates complex hierarchies, alliances, and cultural trends, leveraging both conformity and differentiation to maintain prominence. She understands aspirational psychology, the ways in which audiences project identity, desire, and aspiration onto figures they admire. By calibrating her public persona to these dynamics, she maintains psychological relevance, influence, and brand resonance. Part of her influence stems from self-discipline and habit formation. Behind the glamour lies structure, routines, planning, and cognitive scaffolding that support creativity, productivity, and public engagement. Habit formation functions as a stabilizer in the volatile landscape of celebrity, providing consistency and reducing cognitive load. Psychological consistency reinforces both personal efficiency and external perception of reliability and mastery. Finally, there is the psychology of legacy and meaning-making. Beyond fame and influence, Kim engages in endeavors that extend impact: philanthropy, criminal justice reform advocacy, and entrepreneurship. These pursuits reflect a cognitive and moral orientation toward purpose, significance, and societal influence. Psychologically, this aligns with human needs for transcendence, narrative coherence, and impact, demonstrating that even within hypervisible, high-stakes environments, meaning remains a powerful driver of cognition and behavior. Kim Kardashian's psychology is a composite of social intelligence, self-presentation mastery, resilience, strategic foresight, empathy, risk management, cognitive flexibility, attention control, motivation, perfectionism, and meaning-making. She operates not merely in the realm of entertainment, but in the psychological domains of influence, attention, identity, and aspiration. To study her mind is to witness the synthesis of human behavior, cognition, emotion, and culture, a rare alignment of personal agency, strategic intelligence, and societal impact. Her mind is a laboratory where influence is measured, identity is curated, and attention is engineered. Every decision, interaction, and presentation is both experiment and execution, and perhaps the most fascinating insight of all. Her psychological mastery demonstrates that in the modern world, success is less about talent or beauty alone, and more about the capacity to navigate human perception, behavior, and attention with precision, empathy, and adaptability.